Hey guys, welcome back to another video. What we're going to be talking about today is how to get good at coding. So you might know the answer, in your head, John, like what are you talking about? You just have to be a good coder, a good problem solver, whatever. Like some might say you have to be consistent, you have to be able to keep writing good code for a long time, right? Just doing it once isn't enough. To be considered a good coder or to be considered good at coding, you have to prove yourself more than once, right? You have to do it for several years and gain the experience. And not only the experience, but like the breadth, the depth of knowledge of different languages, different texts, so that you can not only do it many times, but do it many times in different ways. But what I would say to this is that you can be a really good coder. You can know all the languages in the world. You can know everything about coding, but without context, none of it really matters. There's a couple of things you have to think about to really be considered a good coder. First of all is the context, and what I mean by that is the product. What are you actually working on? It's not enough just to be a problem solver as an engineer, but you have to pick the right problems to solve, right? What you want to do is you want to create impact. The impact that you create really will determine how good you are at coding, right? So if you're new to the channel, what we talk about here is how to become a software engineer, how to either switch career paths to become a software engineer, or how to just become one from the get-go if you're just starting off in your journey. So if you like the content, feel free to like and subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I'm super grateful for you. Let's get right back in the video. So yeah, what I was talking about is really when you ask yourself, am I a good coder? Am I a good software engineer? What you have to think about is the impact that you create. Not just how good you are at coding or how good you are at JavaScript, right? That's literally meaningless, especially in 2020. I would say a very good metric of a software engineer is their entrepreneurial value and their ability to build something from scratch that will affect the world, right? The last thing you want to do is become an engineer that just has no impact, no effect on anyone, that just works on things that are completely pointless. You're sitting in some dirty basement being like a professional at memory management, right? Cool, that's hard, but that really no one cares and that doesn't have any effect. What you want as a software engineer, at least this is what I think, is that you really want to have an impact on the world. You want to build something. You want to build the next like Facebook, the next Twitter, whatever it is, the next Amazon. You want to really have an impact. And I think that's what separates coding being a hobby versus coding being a successful business, right? If you're just working on these small projects that you're very passionate about, that's awesome, but that's more of a hobby. But what you want to do is create something that has a lot of impact on people. And that's where it can become a successful business. Now, obviously, the sweet spot here is something that is a hobby that can become a business. And I think those are the best kind of engineers that exist out there that can work on something they enjoy, that has a huge impact, that is super interesting. I think that's what like every engineer should strive to be. So yeah, as an engineer, we all know that software engineers are really good problem solvers, or at least we should strive to be really good problem solvers. But like I said before, you have to know what problem to solve. Don't just code, don't just do something, ask why you're doing that. Don't just code some, artificial reality app or some like Bitcoin wallet, whatever. But just you want to know why you're doing it. What is the purpose, right? Don't just make something flashy and shiny. Make something that's impactful, that has genuine meaning and delivers value. The reason why I'm saying this is that 10 years ago it was really easy, especially as a software developer or just anyone that knows how to code. It was super easy. You could just build a website or make an app, put it on the App Store, and then overnight you could be a success. These days, there's hundreds of thousands of new apps a day, millions of new websites built all the time, and it's so much harder to stand out. If you want to build a successful business, or if you want to become a successful software engineer, coding really isn't enough, right? If you want to like not work for a company but be a software engineer, or maybe work for yourself, you need to know so much more. If you want to have great impact, you need incredible marketing power. Now, what does that mean? Is that you have to be very product and very marketing focused. You have to have a way to reach new audiences and to get more people to listen to you and to visit your product, right? Like I said, back in the day, you could submit some tic-tac-toe app to the App Store. It could get like thousands and thousands of downloads. You do that today, nothing's going to happen, right? You need a good idea. You need to be able to market it. And you need to be good at coding. Like, it has to be a good product, obviously. This is all like, I understand that coding has to be really good, But to become a successful software engineer, it takes so much more these days. You have to be able to market yourself and market the product you're working on. That is like more than half of the work, I'd say. And I would say that's what would separate a good from a great engineer, right? It would be the impact of their work. So I would say to be a successful software engineer, you would have to take your skills, right? Take your coding ability. With that, you're going to want to make a product and then bring it to the market so that you could deliver impact. So you have to be able to be good at coding. You have to be able to market it well to reach an audience, so that you can actually get someone and deliver impact to people and genuinely have an impact on the world. I think that's really what we should be focusing on as software engineers, and that should be the baseline for a great software engineer. Are you good at coding? Depends. How many people has your product affected, right? Not how many lines of code have you written or how many languages do you know. No one cares about that kind of stuff. The real metric for success is how big of an impact has your work done. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you like it, feel free to like and subscribe. Have a good day, guys.